I think that some of it is communication to make sure that the researchers and the entrepreneurs are understanding the various opportunities. But I think there's also the communication aspect of making sure that the public understands and is enthusiastic and will be eager to adopt some of these technologies, but also students, that they can come in and participate in aspects of either being part of a workforce or being a future entrepreneur or, again, being a consumer. And there was a lot of interest, I thought, at this workshop looking at education and how we talk about these things, because this science is not easy. And some of these challenges we're talking about are scary. So I was curious, Mariel, obviously I'm going to look at you. How do we talk to our students and get them enthusiastic and get them engaged in being part of the solution here?
The students that I've had are fascinated with the aspects of nanotechnology and nanoscience that they've discovered through my curriculum, because it's amazing. It's like magic, the things that we can do. Medicine, right? Just incredible achievements in medicine. But it's one class. It's not, nanotechnology is not written into any of the next-gen science standards. You're not really going to get students to understand about what's happening unless teachers understand what's happening. So we need curriculum development. We need pedagogical advances, right? And we need to be sharing these resources out. So it needs to be a broader conversation. And workforce, you mentioned workforce, right? Students still in 2023, they have no awareness of what careers are available to them. If they want to go into the health related fields, they're like, well, I want to be a doctor or a nurse. I'm like, there are like 800 other jobs in a hospital, like a small little hospital. There's 800 jobs in the medical field that are not doctor or nurse, but they don't know anything about them. I've been working with MinTech, which is micro nanotechnology, educating people to take these positions in the workforce, characterization of nanomaterials, fabrication of nanomaterials. They cannot get enough kids into these programs because the kids don't know that they exist. It's like a marketing problem. How do you get the attention of the students? Parents need to know about it. We need to get this out to educators. We need to get it into schools so that kids can be aware.
I might expand this just a little more. Educating world globally, educating everyone is critical. Educating girls specifically, there have been studies that show that educating girls is one of the most cost-effective carbon abatement strategies you can take. It's $10 per ton. And the 30-year impact could be higher than installing solar panels. So I mean, education is not to be sniffed at. Just globally, the more people you can educate, the better, the better outcomes we can expect, just in terms of resiliency, preserving soil, getting scientists into the lab, solving problems on a nanotechnology scale. I just think it really is a critical component, but not just nanotechnology.
We had a PBS show, some sort of show that just every week, like a CBS Sunday morning, they came on and showed the successes of nano use for climate change. And, to whatever it is, you build an audience and at least people start understanding successes. Because a lot of times what I've run into in established industry and general public is that they've heard about nano and they know it's hard, but they get stuck in the cycle of thinking it's always just almost there. It's always just almost there. And so they never know what's real and they never know what should be celebrated as a success.
Actually sharing your excitement as well. I mean, I'm a pretty exuberant person. I don't know if you could tell, but I try to do that in a lot of my communication and try to encourage, the workforce is something that we're really passionate about, Department of Energy, because, every kid is like, I want to work at the Department of Energy in the national lab. So trying to kind of encourage that, I think is really important to us to get more people interested in science. And I think one of the coolest things is that discovery element of it. It can just be exciting because it's exciting, and try to balance that with the applications of what that can be used for.
It is a marketing problem. It is, because we're just not talking about it. And it's also the way the educational system, right, the K-12 educational system works, which is chemistry for the sake of chemistry. and biology for the sake of biology. And there's no conversation about where this is used in the real world and what kind of careers can come out of this, which is because probably I'm a second career teacher and I had a career in, electric generation, transmission, distribution. Like I went through that, and now I'm looking at these kids and they have no idea what they want to do and no one's talking to them about it. And so PBS is a brilliant idea. Okay, the kids need to be able to see, why should I care about this? What is actually, and if you can connect it to climate change, because they all know that it's their problem that we're leaving for them, right? Theirs is a generation that has to fix this, right? Or die in the process. And so they're hyper focused on it to the extent that they're not imploding with fear. If you can get teachers to start exposing students to, here are some of the things that are happening. Here are some of the ways in which nanoscience does work. Here are the ways that you can contribute either as a scientist or an engineer or a policy person who understands the science, or an entrepreneur or an innovator, right? Here are the jobs that align with this. Here are the products that are coming out of this. I think that's the message, because I think they do have enthusiasm for it. You have to partner with educators. You have to partner with educational systems. Curriculum needs to be developed and it needs to be infused, right? Instead of starting from scratch, you just take a look at, what do we teach in chemistry? How do we teach it? And how do we tweak it so that there's also that exposure to, and this is how it is applied, right? Catalysts are nanocatalysts, right? Because they're better when the surface area to volume ratio is higher. You don't have to start from scratch. It's already there. We just have to get the existing educators and the pre-service educators to understand it a little bit better. I've been doing workshops with teachers to try and help them understand it, but it's small scale, right? We need something that's going to really move the needle to get this out to K-12 across the country, across the world.